Hello. Hi. Um, so I will be doing a series of videos for cosplay story times and convention story times. This video is to either be put in front of the big video to explain who I am, or will be the first video of the playlist on TikTok. So I plan on posting on both TikTok and YouTube these videos, which should depend on if TikTok is still around by the time I get around to post them. I am recording everything on TikTok and saving it to my phone because TikTok has a voice filter. I am using a voice filter for these videos because I will mention a couple times that I don't really like the sound of my own voice. I also when wearing wigs on each of my videos. Let me get introducing myself. Hi, my name is Katie. That is not my real name. That is the name that I go by though. My username is Chichikiki. Yes, it's not spelled correctly if you actually look at it. It comes from Chi-Chi from Dragon Ball Z, and Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service. Yes, the Chi-Chi is not spelled correctly. There is a story behind that. If anybody ever wants to know, just leave a comment and I'll tell a little story time on that. But I've been using it for years, and it's just became my username for basically everything. On TikTok, it'll be a series of multiple little videos. Mostly one story per video. Sometimes on some of them, if they're very short, it'll be multiple stories. On YouTube, it'll be a bigger story times with multiple videos with, so, that's what I plan on doing. Like I said, these are all cosplays and convention stories that I've had from the time that I started cosplaying and going to conventions all the way to the present day, which is in this year that I'm recording is 2025. And like I said, if TikTok is still around, because I'm in the United States, and it may not be, then these videos may only be on YouTube. If so, hello YouTube. And if not, hello TikTok. If I come up with more stories, or not come up, make up, but remember more stories, or actually encounter, because it's a new year, new cosplays, new conventions, then I will record more. And that's only if TikTok is still around, or I find a voice changer of some kind. I am using a voice, like I said, I am using TikTok's voice changer because I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't usually do talking videos. I get nervous. I have to think about what I'm saying. So if people like this videos, I may make more and do audio. If not, then it'll be just for me. That's usually why I make cosplay and take pictures and post on Instagram and make YouTube videos and TikToks. It's for me. It's to see how far from where I started to where I am now, to see how far I've come through the years. But I keep it public so people can also sometimes enjoy it, because people do sometimes enjoy it. But yes, I will be changing shirts, I'll be changing wigs, and if I do, that means it's a different day from when I recorded everything else, because I record a bunch of stories at the same time, just wearing a wig. I choose a wig, I choose a shirt, and I say, that's what I'm going with. So, if you are seeing it on TikTok, this should be the first video of multiple of the story times. This is not a story time though. If you're watching on YouTube, you may be rewatching this same video because every video that I post, I'll probably be posting it on again just for, information. You can always skip over this one. This part, I'll try to timestamp it, intro here to here. If I figure out how to do that. I'm not the best at video editing. I'm not the best at photo editing. And I have stories on that, and those are not part of my story times, but if you want to know more, leave a comment somewhere on one of the videos and I will, again, tell the stories. It may come up eventually, but I just wanted to do this because I enjoy watching the convention vlogs, and I've been watching a lot of story times of cosplay story times, convention story times, and I said, hey, I want to do that. So here is my compilation list. I would like to say, if something sounds off, I have problems with pronunciations on certain words, and if it sounds weird, I'm probably just not pronouncing it right. Something that I've learned to live with. I took speech therapy for 5 years. This is the best I'm going to get. I also don't know when I'm doing it. So I would also like to say, if you leave mean comments, I will be deleting them. I delete every mean comment. I don't like meanness. I don't like negativity. If you have something actually useful to say, then you can leave a comment and say, hey, I think you could do this way to be better. I'll take that into advice, but otherwise, I delete every negative comment. You're just here to be negative. Eve. Thank you for watching the videos, if you are watching. And if you decide, I don't want to watch this anymore, that's fine. It's just not for you. It's for me. Like I said, I'm making these videos for me, myself, and I. So, my name is Katie. I am a cosplayer. My username is ChchiKiki, that is ChChKiki. I am on Instagram, I am on TikTok, I am on YouTube, I'm on most social media. And it's nice to meet you, and I hope you do stay and listen to my stories. They might not be the most interesting, but maybe you want to share some of yours. Maybe you've had something similar. But I've been going to conventions for years. I don't even know how long I've been going to conventions. I don't even know how long I've been cosplaying. I know it's been over 10 years since I started cosplaying. So, which is another thing. I'm an adult. I have always been an adult. However, I don't really cuss. And I don't really like vulgar things. So, when I make cosplay characters from vulgar things, I'm always PG about it. So, it's nice meeting you. I hope you'll have fun listening to these story times. Thank you for taking the time to listen and watch. I have no idea how to start this off. I've been listening to a lot of cosplay stories, con stories, and I have some, and I just want to say it. So I have a list here of things that I can talk about. And so the first story that I have is at a convention, and it's a cosplay story, and it's a cute story. And it was the first year that I was cosplaying Taco for the Adventure Zone. I had just gone into the Adventure Zone, and I was walking down the hallway of the convention center and to go to a panel, but going to May Cafe really. And on the way there, I hear someone go, "Choco, my brother," across this giant hallway. And I look over, and it is a Loop cosplayer. Now, anybody that doesn't know, the Adventure Zone, Taco and Lou, they're twins. And I just look at her and I go, whoa, my sister. And we ran to meet in the middle, and we just started gushing about each other's cosplays, and we started, taking pictures and like having fun. And then another story that goes with this one that ties in is that the very next day I was in a different cosplay, and I'll talk about that story because that one has a story of its own. And she recognized me because that was a cosplay fail day, and I had my wig off. And she goes, Taco, my brother, and I go, Lope, my sister. And it was a cute moment. It was the first interaction I've ever had in cosplay that before, and I really loved it. But that was my first cosplay story time. I have more, so see you soon. Here's my second cosplay story. We'll go with the one that I mentioned in the last one, which was the very next day of that convention. I was cosplaying Funtime Foxy from the FNAF series Five Nights at Freddy's, and I've worn this cosplay before. I never had problems with it. It was the first year that I had a tail for it, though, because I had bought a tail at the convention for this cosplay, because Funtime Foxy's cosplay has a tail. And so the first thing that goes wrong with it is that my wig is not staying in place. It's moving. I've had lovely people have pointed out that, we have bobby pins, and I was like, I have bobby pins in my hair. I've secured it as much as I normally do a wig, and it's just not working that day. And then the second thing was I lost the tail that I had just bought. It was okay. I paid $5, so I lost $5. I went to search for it, could not find it. And I just was not feeling this character that day. And I ended up taking the ears off, taking the wig off, eventually taking the gloves off even, and just being weirdly dressed in white and pink. But I did take a great picture of that costume before all of this happened. So that was my second cosplay story. It's short. It's okay. Will not be my last cosplay fail. Don't think it was my first one either, but might have been the first one at a convention. So my next cosplay story, we're just gonna go with the taco theme, because that's how I lined them up in my notes. And I did title these for some reason on my notes, and this was called No Advice for Cosplay, because as a lot of people know, and a lot of cosplayers know, they put in a lot of research on the cosplays. They do small things, to small detailing, to everything. And for Taco has a bracer on his arm, and this year was very special because I had just been using a simple silver bracelet as a bracer, and I had met in the vendor hall that year at this convention a person selling foam armor, and they had the bracer I needed, and it fit me perfectly. She was willing to readjust it if I needed it to. So I just bought this. I'm super excited about it because I bought it and immediately put it on me, and we are and I'm so excited. And then a little bit later, I'm walking around the vendors, dealers, whatever you want. I'm in the vendors part of the dealers hall because they have combined artist alley and vendors at this point at this convention. And I'm on the vendor side, and I see a cosplayer. It was a Toru cosplayer from Fruits Basket. Love Fruits Basket. I get so excited. I go over there, I ask for a picture, I take a picture, we start talking, we compliment each other's cosplays, and as we're talking, because we're in front of a vendor, she was already looking at stuff. I had asked before, I said, hey, when you're done, can I get your picture? And she's like, no, go ahead, let's get the picture. And then we started talking about Fruits Basket, the Adventure Zone. things like that. And the vendor himself, one of the vendors, Boofy, starts talking with us, which is not that strange. He's trying to get a sale, what have you. But the part of the conversation turns to, because I started talking about my bracer that I got. Love this thing. And she's like, that's so cool. And I said, yeah, they do other foam more. And she's like, where do we get it? And like, I point her in that direction. As I'm showing it off, the guy goes, that is really cool. However, you have it on the wrong arm. Now, I had it on my left arm. This is my left. And, I'm like, no. Now, this is not the first year that I'm cosplaying Taco. This is like maybe second or even third year that I'm cosplaying Taco. And when I first started cosplaying Taco, I spent like an hour combing through all the audio files, details that I could to see which side of the bracer goes on. Because in the podcast, it goes left, no, right, no, left. And even in the graphic novel, he just puts it on his left. He doesn't even do the whole left, right, and it's just like, okay. But like, I went onto different forums. I went on a Wikipedia page searching on which side of this bracer goes on, but this guy was very insistent that it's on the right arm. Like, it goes on the right arm, not the left. And I'm like, I look at this Toru cosplayer, and she's looking at me, and we're kind of like, what? And I was like, well, it doesn't matter, because I want it on my left arm. And that was where the conversation ended, because he kind of... And I look at her, she turns and walks away, I turn and walk away, and he didn't get a sale from either of us. I don't know where she went, but I never went back to that vendor for the rest of that convention. So, just be aware, cosplayers do know the small details of their cosplays, what they have and what they don't have. Don't call them out on it. I have another similar call-out story, but it's more funny. So, that was my cosplay story.